here we are.
Cool. This must be a feature I don't have on mine.
Okay. Well, here's.
I've not seen that before.
You can look at the participants list.
Oh, I see 7.
Yep, you can click on that and it'll bring up a list of who they are. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hi there.
I'm gonna mute that. I recognize names from the previous sessions, not all, but quite a few.
Are they? Oh, okay. Cool.
In other sessions, I've had people type in the chat where they are watching from, where they're attending from. If you guys would like to do that, go right ahead.
That's part of our first activity. So,
okay.
Are you introducing or are we introducing ourselves?
Either way.
Whatever you're comfortable with, I don't
No,
care.
I can introduce you guys. Give us just one more minute, see if anyone else starts to jump in.
Just now 4.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the names and the places they're from?
Yeah.
Okay. Just tell me when.
Well, if she introduced us, then you can start.
Because I've got a list of them here already, so.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we haven't had anyone join the last 30 seconds or so, so I will go ahead and say welcome. Hello, everyone. Glad you're joining us for our session today, the Topics Think Tank. Today, we are joined by Sid Rogers and Robyn Boswell. Sid is the affiliate director from Texas. Robyn is from New Zealand, affiliate director from New Zealand. So you ladies can go ahead and take it away.
Okay, I'm going to be sharing my screen. Maybe. Here it goes. And Robyn, take it away with activity number 1. If I can get it to scroll down. There we go. There we go. Let's meet one another.
So, if you can go, for those of you who haven't, go into the chat and tell us what your name is, where you're from, and what your grade or class or year level is. We'd love to meet you all. And Sid, I can't see the chat anymore now that your screen's come up.
If you click participants, I think.
No, I can't even get that. I've got nothing.
Okay.
I had it before, but now there's nothing.
Robyn, do you see where it shows you are viewing Sid Rogers' screen?
Yep.
Click the view options next to that.
Yep.
And then exit full screen. And that'll give you a bit of room.
Oh, good. Okay, we've got a lot of people here.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So we've got Jennifer Modular from New Jersey.
So I'll go ahead and just start while you guys are letting us know who you are and where you're from. This Topics Think Tank is actually for us to pick your brain. Robyn and I both have worked with the topics for quite a number of years. I don't even know how many years. But we work with a committee that helps to choose the topics that the students compete on. And we are always looking for new and innovative ideas. And sometimes we get them and sometimes we have to recycle them. And sometimes it's important to recycle the topics because different things occur in the history of the world that cause us to think about topics in a different way. So I first wanted to let you know a little bit about how the topics are selected. And I want you to all think about doing this, whether you're a coach, a parent, a student, anyone can do this. You can go into the fpspi.org website and find the topics link, and you can actually submit a topic that you think we need to study. Now, often if you do that, then we might come back to you, or we ask you to also submit a brief 3 to 5 sentence descriptor as to why you think this would be an important topic to study. So it's really important for us that we get all of your ideas, and that we include a variety of people to submit topic ideas, because we want to hear from everyone. So what happens is students, coaches, parents, whomever would like, submits their ideas, and then those go to what we call the topics committee. Every year at the affiliate council, which occurs at IC, we form a new topics committee for the year, and up to 15 people from around the world can be on the committee. And then we are the ones that look at the votes, and we discuss them, and we spend many hours, sometimes, I hate to use the word arguing, I'm going to say hashing out what's the best way to put that topic or put it into words and describe it. And then we bring our suggestions to the affiliate council, and the affiliate council has a representative from every state and every country, and then we vote on the topics. But you can also vote on the FPSBI website and help us narrow the topic list down before they go to the affiliate council. So I wanted you to know that everybody here and anybody that you share this with should feel welcome to share their ideas and to help us brainstorm and submit topics. I also wanted to point out, you may not know, if you've only been involved in future problem solving a couple of years or the last 2 or 3 years, you may not know what are the topics that we've been studying. So you can actually go to the fpsci.org and click here under topics, and this is a list of all the topics that we've competed on from this year, 1920. And look, 2021 topics are already there, and they go all the way back, all the way down, for as long as we've been competing and holding these competitions, or at least as long as we could put on the page. So it goes down to 1999. Pardon me. So I wanted everybody to know where they could find a list of the topics that we have done in the past, so that maybe you won't submit those, or maybe looking at this list might give you an idea of a topic that's connected to one of these that you might want to submit, or a new way to look at it. So that's on the international website, and it's called the Topic History, and it's under this topics link right here. My page is a little bit hidden. So everything we're doing today, we've created a s'more, whoops. And a s'more is sort of just like an online newsletter. And I will put the link to this s'more up later on in the chat, or Debbie, we can put it on the Facebook page. But everything that we're going to do today, or all of this information, is in the s'more. So now I'd like to hear from you, and we need you to tell us what topics that you've studied have been your favorites and why. And so what we're going to ask you to do is, I don't know if I can you copy this, Debbie, and put it in the chat, please?
Yep, 1 second.
This is an answer garden, or a word cloud, that we're going to ask you to put your favorite topics in this answer garden. And I'm going to pull the answer garden up, and we're going to see in real time what your favorites have been. So if you will just put 3 of your favorite topics that we've ever studied, you can see a couple that were my favorite topics so far that I've already put. All you do is type here in this line your 3 favorite topics, separate them by a comma, and then click submit, and they will go in. So we'll take about 3 to 4 minutes to have you fill in this answer garden, so we can see what have been your favorite topics. by learning your favorite topics, it helps us go in the right direction in the future in choosing topics. And you should know, we've just voted at this year's affiliate council. We already know what the topics are for 2021-22. And so we typically work on the topics about 2 to 3 years out. It used to be much further out, but with internet and more and more futurists and futuristic studies, where we have narrowed that focus so that we can always be a little bit more up to date. But we do have the topics already selected for the coming school year and the school year after that. So our researchers and our futurists can already begin looking at those topics and thinking about what they would write in a future scene and what all the research data that they want to include, like in the research and readings document. So I'm not seeing anything. I may have to refresh my screen.
Sid, some people are saying that it's only letting them submit 20 characters.
20 characters? Okay, I didn't know that. So maybe. Oh, I love disappearing languages. That was a good one too. I forgot about that one. I'm going to keep refreshing my screen so that I can see other input. Oh, neurotechnology. That was one of my favorites too, a few years back. Just refresh one more time. We just thought it'd be fun to see what some of your favorites have been. Some of these have been pretty recent and some of these are pretty old. Cashless Society was quite a while ago. And for those of us that have been around that long, I actually remember that topic. So I don't know if you know this, but our topics must come from one of these strands that are on the screen now. We have 3 strands of study: science and technology, business and commerce, and social political. And every year we must have one of the topics for competition must come from one of these 3 categories. So obviously we do 5 problems in the year. So there's going to be some overlap. Can anybody tell me which strand they think is the most popular for people? Robyn, can you see in the chat? Does anybody know which topic or which strand rather is the most
science tech?
Yeah,
science
that's
tech,
right. You're exactly right. I think it's the most relevant to 2020 technology. And science and technology and we get many more submissions in that strand. So when you're thinking about helping us and submitting a topic strand to us, we'd like for you to think about the strands and remember that, you know, maybe even in today's society, social and political, we need to pay a little more attention to. Business and commerce is not as exciting perhaps as science and technology, but sometimes we can find some interesting things that add on into that. Let's go to the next thing. This is we actually use a rubric to analyze and to evaluate which topics we think would be the most successful and the most interesting and the most powerful for students to study. I'm not going to show that to you now, but it is in the SMORE. And when you get the SMORE, if you choose, you can download it and look at it and see what our topics are and how we evaluate these topics. So what we're going to do next, it's not that, clicked on the wrong thing. I would like for you to begin submitting and help us brainstorm some topics that we can study in the future, because now we're already starting to look at topics for 22 for 2023, 2022 and 2023. So you don't have to worry about what strand you think they're in. Put them in the chat and Robyn's going to call them out to me and I'm going to type them into this form. I have a Google form in this more, but it's really hard for you to click back and forth from the Google form into the screen. So I'm going to do it this way. So Robyn, has anybody given us some ideas?
Clean water.
Clean water. Well, that's interesting because water supply is a topic for 2021, 22. But where would that go? I'm going to call it social political.
Sometimes it depends on the approach, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay. Civil resistance. Oh, some good topics coming up here. Green economy.
If you don't like where I put it, you need to let us know and give us some justification as to why.
The future of food allergies, or that would just be food allergies. We don't put the future of in topic descriptors because that's what it's all about. Electoral college. Screen usage. The rise of cancer diagnoses. Issues with citizenship, dual citizenship in a world of international conflict.
I'm going to make that into 2. Or maybe even 3.
Yeah.
These are great.
There's some
They're all
fantastic.
social political. Yeah.
Yeah. Data tracking from technology devices and privacy.
Oh, where does that go?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Again, it depends on the approach, doesn't it?
Okay, you said data tracking and there was something else.
Yeah, data tracking from technology devices and privacy.
Privacy maybe goes over here.
Yeah. Effects of isolation on mental health. Ex-quarantines. Can see what a lot of us are going through at the moment. New viruses and pandemics. Voting rights.
Did you catch in the future scene from the global issues competition today that 12-year-olds had the right to vote? I thought that was an interesting little tidbit they included in the future scene.
I haven't seen it yet. Okay, nuclear power. Urban agriculture.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Urban agriculture.
Urban agriculture.
I like that. Offshore balancing. I'm not sure what that means.
Offshore balancing, can you give us a little bit of a descriptor for that or a definition?
Yeah, it would be good to hear a bit more. As Julie has pointed out, and it was something I was going to mention, one thing that we have to look for in topics is that we have countries all around the world involved. So it's important that we actually have topics that happen all around the world that are global topics, and sometimes that can be quite challenging. So it's just something to think about. you know, there are 11 different countries that I see this year. So finding something that suits everybody is not always easy. Genetic modification. Artificial intelligence. Altering DNA. Racism.
Let's try to brainstorm some business and economics ones.
Yeah, looking at that. Journalism in the age of social media. Interesting topic.
That is.
Yeah. Distance learning and communication.
Again, I may not be putting them where you think they should go. So if you think I need to change, let me know.
Systemic inequality. Biological warfare. Military powers. Self-driving cars.
I'm putting that over here. That's a business.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It has to do with the military. What was the question that we asked about?
Offshore balancing.
Offshore balancing has to do with the military.
Could it go into social and political?
I guess, yeah. Something we'll have to find out more about.
So you can see that those of us that are on the topics committee also have to do quite a bit of research. And if you would like to join the topics committee, just contact your affiliate director. Because we can have as many people on the committee as we want, but only 15 can be voters, voting members, and there can't be 2 voting members from one affiliate. So if you'd like to join the topics committee, we'd like to have you. Little plug there. Other ideas?
Oh, there's heaps still coming. Trading with other countries and getting recourses from other countries. Population control. Religious freedom. Oh, coming back to the offshore balancing. Thanks, Nishi. It's like the military is backing off a little bit so that the other countries can cooperate by themselves without having one country getting too involved and having to deal with everything. Could be interesting to look at.
That is interesting. Thank goodness the chat's being saved.
Yes. Nanotechnology. Civil journalism. Taxation.
This could go in almost, it could go in several categories.
Yeah. Climate change. We're getting some business ones now.
Good.
Online businesses. Virtual banking.
That's a good one.
Online currency. Effects of Amazon and online shopping. Manufacturing. Interesting. Bankruptcy of businesses. Physical and mental disabilities. Yeah. Microloans. Retail in the 21st century.
That.
Limiting the impact of livestock farming. Oh, here's an interesting one. Media portrayal of the professional world. Got an example here, like medical dramas being unlike the medical world. Interesting. National healthcare accessibility. Legalizing marijuana. Remote work or distance learning. Economic bias in business. Science is now the shortest list.
Wow.
War.
All right, where do I put it?
Oh, yes.
Social
Probably in all three.
Probably.
Trade, education.
I'm going to put it here.
National debt. Monopolies.
Y'all are doing this just to make me test my spelling.
Yeah. But it'd be speed of typing for me. Small business development. Physical and mental abuse.
We're going to go about 3 more minutes and then we're going to do something else with this activity.
Science denial, yes.
You would have to help us write the descriptor, I believe, whoever submitted that.
Terrorism.
Again, that might go everywhere.
Yeah. Long-term effect of social distancing. Still got heaps going through here, but we can add them all later.
Yes.
Yeah. Alternative law enforcement. White collar crime.
Two more minutes and then we're going to stop.
Okay, ensuring equitable access to resources and territories of space.
Oh, in space.
Of space.
Read that to me one more time.
Ensuring equitable access to resources and territories of space. Interesting. Business insecurity. Plutocracies.
Okay, so you have to spell that.
Plutocracies. When the very wealthy have control over a society.
Right, right. I know what it was. I just couldn't remember how to spell
Yeah.
it.
Cyber warfare.
Oh, that's a good one. Is that science? Is that techno? We're going to put it under science and technology.
Science technology, really. Well, it could be under the others as well. Cyber security. Business giants such as Disney basically owning fairy tales. Interesting. It's almost sort of copyright, isn't it? And somebody's offered to write a descriptor for science denial here, so that's
Good.
pollution, martial law. We seem to be slowing down here. We've got about 4 more to go. Skirting around copyright laws, like when Disney made the live action Lion King to keep the rights to it. Oh, you learn something new every day. I didn't know that. Biofuels. Identity theft. Sea pollution. Wildfires. Oh, we're on another roll here. Gun control.
It has been 2.5 minutes, I just want to mention.
Okay, so we're going to stop there, and if you want to keep adding ideas into the chat, you're welcome to do so. What I would like for you to do is, we've gone on to 2 pages. This is, you guys are prolific in your fluency. That's awesome. What we want to look at is, can't get it to scroll. Maybe. Come on, go up. I'm just going to go over it really quickly. And what I want you to do is we're going to look at each category or each strand individually. And I want you to think, and just think for a few minutes, and then maybe provide your opinion in the chat. Which of these in each strand, and we'll start with business and economics first, do you think is the most important for future study that would affect our students that are in, let's say, grade 6 now in their adulthoods? Which one that in 20 years is going to be the most important for us to attack, and that our students today would have to deal with or tackle in their futures? So I'm just going to go down the list just slowly for you could read it. I'm not going to read them out loud, but I want you to examine them and tell me, of this category, which one do you think will affect our kids, or if you're a student, which one will affect you in your future? There we are. Which might be a topic that you would be most interested in, might be the second half of that question. So please put in the chat, of the business and economics ones, which one do you think has the most viability for our futures? Getting any responses, Robyn?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of responses, but everybody's got a different idea. Online business seems to be the one that's got several.
I missed that.
Do we want to highlight them all, or?
I was just going to highlight the, some that
really
have multiple. Give me the ones that have multiple or similar.
Yeah. Monopolies is mentioned a couple of times. Virtual banking, online business. Yeah, online business and online currency seem to be getting a big hit here. I think that's everyone's had a chance to say something now.
Okay. Under science and technologies, which ones do you think are vital for our future, or that we should study so that our kids are prepared for their future? And like I said before, we've done a couple of these. I'm amazed that we have as few overlaps from past topics as we do have, but
Yeah.
we can always take a topic and look at it from a different perspective, from a different, even one of these strands. And so even though, for example, genetic modification, we just did that one a couple of years ago, there's always something new coming out in the science world, the tech world, that might make that really a viable topic again. So, and sometimes we actually change the name a little bit to make it more, to make it a little bit different and more unique.
Okay, so we're getting the food allergies, cancer diagnosis.
I don't see it. Tell me where it is.
Um,
Not that far down.
a few for climate change. Couple for science, several for science denial. Yay.
And that's a new one that we've not done
No.
at all. That's exciting to me to get these new ideas. It's very exciting.
Probably very relevant in terms of what's going on in the world, I think.
I do.
That it's come to the
Again,
surface.
something we need to look at.
Altering DNA is popping up a few times.
Any more in this category or in this strand? I'll scroll down a little bit because we had.
Yeah, they said, can you scroll down to the second page?
Yeah.
Yeah. AI has come up a couple of times, artificial intelligence. I thought we had that on the list somewhere, but maybe not.
We do. I just put it.
No, I meant, I thought it was actually an upcoming topic, but maybe it's just been around for a while.
We've done it before in the past in a couple of different venue or avenues.
Biofuels got a couple of mentions.
Good.
Okay, looks like that's it. Everyone's stopped.
All right. Now our last strand, which is social political. Oh, this one, you guys have great ideas here.
Amazing. The journalism ones are coming up. Civil journalism and journalism in the age of social media.
Really like both of those. Those are, we've not done anything like those either recently.
Civil resistance. There may be a reason why that's popping up. Yeah, journalism one is really coming up. Media portrayal of the professional world. We might need to scroll down to the second page. Yeah, civil journalism. The journalism one's certainly getting a lot of hits. National healthcare accessibility is actually an interesting topic in that it wouldn't necessarily be a global topic.
Yeah, because some countries already have it.
Yeah,
We don't in the US, so
yeah,
it's a
yeah.
big deal to us.
Okay, that looks like that's everyone stopped.
Okay. Thank you all for these excellent ideas and for sharing. I'm very excited about them. I don't know, Robyn and I've been, like I said, have been on the topics committee for a number of years, but the committee changes and the chair could change next year. We've been sort of chairing it for a couple of years, but you know, whoever is the topics chair or on the committee would be delighted to get a list like this, because we sometimes have to start from scratch. So very exciting, some of those topics. So I kind of already showed you the list, but here are the topics for 2021 in the Northern Hemisphere, or 2021 for that whole year in the Southern Hemisphere. So I wanted to go through a couple of things about the topics here. Practice problem 1, this topic order has been voted on by the affiliate directors. However, each affiliate has the flexibility to change the order if they so choose to do so. And so some affiliates do it differently. And to me, that's one of the best things about the future problem solving arena, is that we do have flexibility to make things work in our own affiliates. For example, my affiliate did gamification as our state bowl topic this last year instead of living in poverty. So we did that, sadly, because we had this guy lined up. He was a gamification guy, and he was going to do all this kind of stuff and do these gamify our bowl, and the kids were going to get to go around the conference center where we have our state bowl, and obviously that didn't get to happen. But sometimes affiliates choose to reorder the categories because they think they might be able to get a corporate sponsor or things like that. So they do have the flexibility to do that. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the way the IC topic, why it's not announced until March 1st. I'm going to say it's been about 8 years ago. I know I was on the board of trustees when it happened. We voted as an entire group, all the affiliate directors, that we would not announce the year's international conference topic until March 1st, because that sort of leveled the playing field for everybody. Everybody found out about that topic all at the same time on the same date. The international office can sort of make it a big announcement. They do a video, they do some other things to make it a big deal. So that's why it's done that way. So everybody for the international conference hears and learns of the topic all on the same day, sort of to make it an equitable competition.
Can I just add to that, Sid?
Yes,
that
please. Yes, please.
in the Southern Hemisphere, our finals, which are your affiliate bowls, are actually held at the end of October or early November, which meant that our kids were actually finding out what the topic, or knew what the topic, everyone knew what the IC topic was, but then our kids had from October or November until the following June to prepare for the topic. This way, everybody gets the same amount of time, which is, to me, is fair.
And being in the Northern Hemisphere, I appreciate that the Southern Hemisphere people recognized that our students didn't have to compete against kids from the Southern Hemisphere that had been studying the topic for 8 or 9 months, and our kids have been didn't even get 8 weeks to study it. So I think that I'm pretty proud of that decision that we made as a global group, because this isn't always just about the competition, but it is an academic competition. So we attempt to do everything we do. We attempt to do with equitability and fairness. And so that was a proud moment for me when we made that decision as a group, and the whole group recognized that it was important to make it equitable. I remember that day very well. I would like to turn this over to you now, and I would like to know if you have questions about any of the topics, or why certain things are done certain ways with the topic selection. I've opened this question, or you can put them in the chat, and Robyn and I will try to answer them. We have about 10 to 15 minutes left, and we want to turn this over to you and hear what you have to say about the topics and topic selection and that kind of thing. Are any questions? I can't see the chat, but
No questions yet. Oh, somebody asked what the location of 2021 IC is, but I put in the chat that it's going to be back at Amherst next year, isn't it?
Yes, and which is a good thing, because the University of Massachusetts, we were supposed to have been there this year, and because we couldn't go, they ended up not charging us and giving us a really good deal to come back. And if you didn't get to go to IC last year at Amherst, it's a beautiful campus and a lovely part of the US, and so we'll be back there in Massachusetts. Hopefully we can be having this meeting in person and be sitting around a table and talking to one another without having to use the chat feature. But if any of you did get to go, you'll, I hope, agree with me, it was a lovely venue for it.
Okay, somebody's asked, what is the affiliate bowl? That's probably because it's not a terminology that a lot of us would use. So
Texas, we call it the State Bowl. I think it's what Australia, New Zealand, what you guys call the National Bowl, is it not?
National Finals.
Or the National Finals. So
Yeah.
the Affiliate Bowl is, here in the US, we have a State Bowl, or like we have a big Texas Bowl, and that's where we select the students that will represent Texas at the international conference. But it's actually called the Affiliate Bowl. In Texas, we call it the State Bowl, but you guys call it the National Finals in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
What do you call it in other places? Is there a name is there a term I need to learn?
Yeah, good point. No comments.
No comments?
I mentioned this previously, but many of the tech-directed topics lead to kids falling into the hackers are the biggest problem rut. I'm inclined to agree with that. The number of hackers I've seen over the years in various topics.
I will just say that it's, Robyn touched on this just a bit. It's very important to us to select topics that globally are important topics, or there's value in studying those topics globally. And over the years, this stands out to me. We were talking about the topic of bullying, and someone said in their affiliate, I believe it was New Zealand, that it wasn't a huge problem, where I think we see it more, and you can tell that by what's happening in the news in the US, bullying occurs. So it's not that we don't always respect your submissions of topics, but we try to analyze, is there validity for studying these topics on a global scale, on an international scale? And then we also look at the research and the trends and try to predict what would be going on 20 to 25 years into the future with that topic. So those are some of the things that we have to analyze to ensure that the topics we select are viable across the globe, and also really what we look at as important topics that will happen in the adulthoods of our students that we are dealing with today. So that's really a couple of ways we look at it. And then we use the rubric that I mentioned. And also we look at how recently we've done a topic that is similar. So that's why it's really important if you want to suggest a topic, if you want to go look at that list of topics that I showed you from the international website, that helps you to understand, oh, we just did something similar, or, oh, this is coming up next year. We already have that. We just voted on the topics and I'm finding these are very interesting too. Does anyone else have anything else they want to add or share about topics?
Someone's got, will the mining topic be related to space? So you might want to talk about how the topics go on to become the future scenes.
Well, once a topic is selected, the International Office works with several people that are futurists. And so we, as a topics committee, write a descriptor, and then we send these descriptors to futurists, and they analyze what would be the best direction for us to go into for writing the future scene. So then we get information from these futurists who are very knowledgeable in the world of future studies. And then we get the current trends and research. And then we give all that kind of information to the future scene writers. But basically, unless the futurists tell us what not to do, the future scene writers pretty much have some freedom, but they also are required to look at what these futurists recommend and what the current trends and the current research says. So for example, I was a little surprised about the terraforming future scene. I thought it would be really specific to Venus or Mars, and it surprised me a little bit. So I think that's the best part of the future problem solving program, is that sometimes our future scenes and our technicians and our technologies and our writers surprise us and take us to places where we didn't think about going. So I can't guarantee the mining will go into mining in space, but I certainly will make note of that for the topics committee, because I do think that makes it very futuristic. Thank you for that question. Anybody else have a question about topics?
That's all that's on the chat at the moment.
I do want to say thank you for coming, because sometimes this topics think tank has had a very small number in attendance, and we've had up to 33 people today, or 34 people, and it's been exciting. Your answers and your responses have been very, very varied and diverse, and that's very exciting to me when I'm sitting on the topics committee going, okay, now what are we going to do for the next one? So it's very exciting to us that we have this many diverse thinkers at this late in the afternoon on a Saturday, or early in the morning on a Sunday. So, and all the hours in between.
Somebody has asked, can students be on the topics committee, or is it just adults?
To my knowledge, we've not ever had students on the topics committee. Typically, I've had a couple of high school students in Texas that wanted to help, and because I was already on the topics committee, I just said to them that they were my topics cohorts, and then I invited them to share their ideas or research specific things, and then I brought their ideas to the committee. I don't think there's a rule about it. I'm not aware of a policy rule or a bylaw that says they cannot, but typically it's adults and one per affiliate, or if there are two, only one of those members can vote. Only one voting member per affiliate, I know. We try to have about 15. We've had up to up to 20 on the committee, and that works okay. But the more people that you get, most of our work is done via email. So, and we go back and forth, but a couple of times, you know, we could do Zoom now or Google Hangout now to communicate, but then we have to always deal with time zones and the variance in time zones. So, you know what, I'm going to ask about students on the topics committee. Many of our affiliates have student evaluators that are in high school, so I see no reason why we couldn't have contributions from some of our older students. I think that would be refreshing.
We're getting lots of really positive feedback, but lots of interesting things about maybe this could be a virtual meeting in the future. I like this meeting being virtual. It makes it easier to participate in it. Suggestion, having this in an online meeting might lend itself to more people. At IC itself, the kids are so busy, they just don't have time. Usually during conference, coaches are spending the afternoon with students in their activities. Also, the virtual meeting is nice because we can look up the names of things.
I totally agree with everything that's been said, and we'll keep all of those things in mind for the next meeting. I don't know if you could see my s'more. I put cogs of a wheel, or it looked like wheels to me because I wanted your wheels to be turning. And I feel like that has really happened today. We've really seen your brains working and your wheels turning. And I so appreciate all of these great ideas. I think due to COVID, the positive is that more online communication and more virtual meetings will be held. We don't know how we're going back to school. In August, we start school again. We don't know what that's going to look like yet, but here in the Northern Hemisphere. But I do believe we're going to see a combination of learning take place. And so I think we've all learned to accept this, and I hope we move forward in a very positive direction with it. Anything else you have to say, Robyn?
No, most of it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Just want to know
what I wanted to say to you is we hope you will continue to share topic ideas with us. Our emails are here, and I think Debbie put in the chat our s'more, but she could also put, and this meeting has been recorded and will be, the link to it will be up on the FPSBI Facebook page. And if you think of ideas for topics in the future, feel free to reach out to me. You can find me or Robyn on the international website under affiliates, and our email addresses are there. And I do want to just really emphasize how important your input is into the topics. There's a typo right there, but I really mean that. To me, it's more fun for the students if they've had an input, or one of their topics has been selected, or something they're highly interested in will make them more engaged in the actual competitions. So please continue to share. And that's all I have. And wow, 4:59, we ended with a minute to spare.
Well done.
Wow.
Amazing. Thank you for attending, and thank you, Sid and Robyn.
Somebody did ask about accessing the recordings. I think they're all going to be on the FPSBI. Is it the Facebook page, Debbie, or the website?
It'll be the Facebook page, links there.
Okay, links to these recordings will be on the FPSBI Facebook page. So, wow, what a great attendance.
That was fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That may be the best attendance we've ever had at this session also.
Great.
That's amazing. Great answers. Bye, Robyn. Thanks so much.
See you, Sid. Thank you.